All right, welcome to Talking Investing. I'm Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today, first, I want to get it out of the way. I'm feeling a little under the weather, so sorry if my voice sounds funny. Day 4 of a cold, but with that aside, I wanted to get you guys this video today because it's something I've been thinking about for a little while. I want to talk about the Bitcoin miners, and I want to talk a little bit of a big picture. I want to talk about the halving and exahash. So we've been getting a lot of press releases lately. I'm going to go through a few of those. I expect a lot more press releases to come. We're starting to see the Bitcoin miners put their plans together on how they're going to look at the halving and after the halving. So I kind of have a number in my head where I think these Bitcoin miners need to get to before the halving, and that's 8 exahash. So that is not the end of the story, but I'll tell you the first thing that I'm going to be looking at are a group of these Bitcoin miners I do believe are trying to get to at least 8 exahash, and then I think they need to grow from there. So that doesn't mean if you're invested in a Bitcoin mining company and it doesn't get to 8 exahash that it's going to fail. So that's not what I'm saying. I just think the larger group, the ones that are going to be most successful, have the best chance of succeeding over the long haul, are going to be those that get at or around 8 exahash by the halving. And you're going to see this is going to become pretty clear by the numbers. Also, just a side, please remember, I work hard to get these videos out, and you can see I'm even playing sick today. So for those of you who are willing, for those of you who enjoy this content, please remember to subscribe to the channel, smash the like button, and hit the notification bell. Much appreciated. All right, let's go. Okay, first thing is, this is a chart that I make every month. So this is June 30th. So this was the most recent data. This is per each company's operational update on a monthly basis. So you're going to see there's a bunch of companies that are already over my 8 exahash, but most are below. CORZQ reported 15 exahash, Marathon reported 17.7 exahash, Riot reported 10.7. So they're already above that, but I am going to talk about some of these companies and what their plans are going forward, really through 2023 and 2024, even up to as far as 6 months after the halving. If those plans are in place, if they've been paid for, or there's a pathway for payment, then that's what I'm going to try to look at and show you where I think these companies are going. Then you're going to see the rest of these companies are under 8 exahash right now, and most of them are well under. You'll see this is only the top 10, so all the rest of the publicly traded Bitcoin mining companies aren't even at 3 exahash at this point. Not all of these companies are going to get to 8 exahash by the halving. So in my mind, we're really not even going to have a top 10 necessarily by the time the halving comes, but I do think it could be as many as 7 or 8. So let's take a look. All right, we'll start with the obvious ones. Marathon Digital, they're already at 17.7 exahash. They have 21.8 exahash installed, which means they have about 4.1 exahash that are installed, but they're not operational yet. Their plan is 23 exahash. Basically, they expect to reach that before the end of 2023, so they should go into the halving at 23 exahash. That does not include the stuff they're doing in Dubai, so they also have plans to grow past that, but for now, we'll leave it at that. We'll see if they can even get to this 23 exahash. They've been talking about this for quite some time, and they're still not quite there yet. Okay, very quickly, I'm just going to mention CORZQ. They are at, you can see, they're at 15 exahash as they reported in their June operational update. They don't do a projection. They're still in Chapter 11. We do expect that they're going to come out of this very shortly, so I don't know if that means 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, but they seem to have leveled off. This did go down. They were higher than this, but it seems like they've leveled off and maybe even started growing a little bit, so they are at 15 exahash. So they will clearly be above that threshold. They don't give any plans going forward, so we're not sure where they plan to go, but they certainly don't plan to shrink. Okay, next is Riot Blockchain. You're going to see they put out a press release recently. This was June 26th, so this is one of 3 or 4 press releases that I specifically want to go through, where you're going to see these companies are starting to try to clarify exactly what the next phase of what they're doing is and how they plan to grow. So this one says Riot purchases 7.6 exahash of next generation miners from MicroBT manufactured in the United States. Okay, so landmark deal includes an initial purchase of 33,280 miners to increase self-mining capacity to 20.1 exahash. That's up from 12.5 exahash, which has been their target for about a year and a half now. So that's a significant improvement. This press release goes on to say they have the option to purchase machines all the way up to 35 exahash. So I don't expect that that will happen anytime soon. They may be able to make that commitment by the end of 2024 and build that out in 2025 and 2026. So, a potential to double or triple here in exahash from Riot. All right, this is a press release from CleanSpark just last week. CleanSpark's Bitcoin production achieves 8 exahash. You can see if we look down here, they're at now 8.5 exahash, and that's over half of the 16 exahash they're targeting by the end of the year 2023. They're looking to go into the halving at 16 exahash. So the ones we've talked about so far are by far and away the larger. So those 4 are the top 4. I don't see anybody catching up to those 4 in the next 12 to 18 months, but there are 4 more that have some very impressive plans. So I want to go through the next 4. Okay, so the first one is Iris Energy, and you're going to see Iris Energy announces 9.1 exahash expansion plan. I will tell you guys, as an aside, it seems like nobody's paying attention to this company. Their trading volume is very, very low. I think this is a good one to have on your watch list, or at least bring yourself up to speed, because it does seem like people are not quite paying attention to Iris Energy, and very quietly, they are mining a lot of Bitcoin, and they have some big growth plans. This is a highly efficient company. So what I mean by that, we do an efficiency calculation, which is basically number of Bitcoin mined by the number of exahash running. We do this every month. Some of these companies actually provide this information on a monthly basis. You're going to see Iris Energy was tied for first in the month of June. They've been basically in the top 3 every month all year this year. So they're a very highly efficient Bitcoin miner. And again, their trading volume is super low. So let me know in the comments if you want a deep dive on Iris Energy, because I have not done one in a while. So let me know if you're interested in learning more about Iris Energy, and I'll consider doing that if you guys are interested. So I'm just going to go down to this chart really quickly. They're at 5.6 exahash right now. They have a plan to get to 9.1 in early 2024. So that is prior to the halving, which should happen in April of 2024. Then you'll see here, they have a runway to get to 13.6 exahash. That's probably not going to happen for at least another year after, but at least they're letting you know they have everything in line. They have everything on lockdown to get to that. It's just going to take some money to get there. But next is Bitfarms. They have 2 press releases I want to go through. The first one, real quickly, this was their June operational report. This was put out on July 6th. Bitfarms starts production at Bakehomu and increases hash rate target to 6.3 exahash in Q3 2023. So that's not quite 8 exahash, 6.3 by the end of Q3 of 2023, which is just a month and a half from now. But on top of this, yesterday they put out this press release. Bitfarms secures contracts in Paraguay for up to 150 megawatts of hydropower. So they are already operating in Paraguay. They have a small operation there. This would be another 150 megawatts. So give or take, depending on what machines they buy and how this works out, this could potentially be 5 or 6 exahash, in addition to the 6.3 that they're targeting for basically next month. Now, they're not going to do this all at once, but I do expect that they will at least get from 6.3 to maybe 8 or 9 exahash by the halving, possibly 10. Again, this does get them the potential to get to 11 or 12. So I do think that with this press release just yesterday, I think this locks down the fact that they're going to be north of 8 exahash by the halving. I'm personally predicting more like 9 exahash, but that is just my personal estimate. So this is not financial advice. I do my best to try and pull this data together, and I do some of my own personal forecasting for my own investing, but please do your own due diligence. But it does look like with this 150 megawatts, that is a monumental expansion. Really, that's about 80% increase in their current amount of megawatts. So they should be able to do some significant expanding with this. This should get them over the threshold prior to the halving. So Bitfarms to me looks like they're going to get where they're going. Okay, the next one is Terawulf. This came out just 2 days ago. So you can see, this is what I'm saying. There's a lot of press releases coming out. There's a lot of news coming out of the Bitcoin miners. And I really think all these Bitcoin miners are trying to get the word out and show people what their plans are going into the halving. So here we go. Terawulf announces 7.9 exahash expansion plan. 7.9 is not 8, but I'm going to call this close enough. This is their plans to get to 7.9 exahash. The other thing is, remember I said all exahash are not created equal. Their power purchase agreements are spectacular. They have among the lowest, if not the lowest cost per coin. I think that Terawulf and Cipher probably are competing for lowest cost per coin. So for them to get to 7.9 exahash, they really just started mining within the last year. So this is some rapid growth. So I'm impressed with what they're doing. And I do think they belong on this list to to talk about. I also think this probably isn't the last that we'll hear from Terawulf between now and the halving, so don't be surprised to see another press release come out at some point that shows them getting over that 8 exahash prior to the halving. This is a chart from Cipher Mining. So you're going to see this chart says they're currently at 6 exahash. That was from their most recent investor presentation, but you can see as of June 30th, they were actually at 6.7 exahash, well on their way. So if I go back to that, you can see by the end of Q3, they look like they wanted to get to 7.2. Well, it looks like that's going to happen. And then by the end of 2023, they want to get to 8.2. So there's that magic number again. 8.2 is over 8 exahash. So it looks to me like Cipher is on track to be over 8 exahash. And again, it's early, so I would not be surprised to hear another press release from them sometime over the next 9 months as to what their goals are beyond this 8 exahash. But it looks to me like they've already got 8 plus locked up prior to the halving. A couple of other ones that I want to mention. Hut 8 has a major merger pending. So right now, they have been pretty dormant as far as the Bitcoin mining end of their business goes. But I do like to remind people that they have a gigantic stack. They have the second largest stack of Bitcoin on their balance sheet. And you'll see right here, Hut 8 discloses in an amendment to its Form S4 registration statement filed in mid-June that it expects the installed self-mining capacity of Hut 8 Corp to be 7.5 exahash, assuming the completion of the proposed all-stock merger. So this is all contingent on a pending merger. This gets them to 7.5 exahash. So not quite 8 exahash, but this jumps them back into the conversation. And again, there's 9 more months between now and then for them to talk about how they can get from 7.5 to 8 exahash or beyond. Lastly, this is Bitdeer. To me, this is a little bit of a mess, so that's just my personal opinion, but I'm going to show you this anyway. They have what's called proprietary hash rate, and that's broken down into 2 things. Self-mining, that's what I want to focus on. They're at 4.6 exahash of self-mining, and they're expecting to get 3.3 exahash to the company's proprietary hash rate. So that would get them also to 7.9 exahash. So not quite 8, but this does put them in the conversation. This company is a little bit different than all the other companies, but they really are starting to build their self-mining portion of their business. So we'll see how this goes. Those are the 10 companies that I'm looking at to get past 8 exahash. Thanks again. I apologize for my voice, everybody. I'm just getting through this sickness, hopefully. So thanks so much for bearing with me. Thanks for watching the video. If you made it this far, please remember to subscribe to the channel, smash the like button, and hit the notification bell. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next video.